Welcome, everybody, and happy Halloween. Thank you for joining us for our final episode of our mini series, Undead in Dallas. Just want to thank my wonderful players for being such a joy to have on screen and interact with, and Alex, particularly because he is our tech director and he is fantastic with his ability to keep us on the internet. And also to our wonderful followers and subscribers. We see you in there and we love you very much. But I'm going to turn it over to the cast so they can introduce themselves. Let's start with Dom.
Hey guys, I'm Dominic. I am I guess, partner here at the Bear Pen. Do a bunch of different little things. And tonight we finishing up this little, I don't know what to call it, chronicle. Um, and see what all of this chaos, has where it's led us. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Should be a good time, hopefully. Cassie?
Hello, I am Kathy. I am awkward Cassidy _ on Twitter. I do a lot over here at the Bear Pen, and that's about the only place you can find me. I don't do much, but I do Blood on Bayou, which is starting back in November. So be sure to catch that. Yeah. And I am excited to wrap this up.
Telling you, Bayou's going to be a ride this season. I feel it now. And
Hi, everybody. My name is Ann Pierce. You can find me on socials at _Ann Pierce _. Today I am playing Rhea, and we'll see if it's murder or negotiation. We'll find out.
I mean, personally, I advocate for murder, but that's my decision. But Alex?
Hey everybody, I am Alex Hillman. I am one of the partners here at the Bear Pen, and you probably recognize me from this show and Blood on the Bayou, which, as everyone mentioned, is kicking back off next week on Sunday at this time. Other than that, for this session, I'm playing Tech, the resident Nosferatu information gatherer, and yeah, it's been an interesting ride so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we kind of end up wrapping everything up here tonight.
It's gonna be interesting. We'll have to let you all find out. And Brandon.
Hi guys, my name is Brandon. I go by the DMB on all of the interwebs. You can find me on Twitter at the DMB __. This has been my first official stream with the Bear Pen, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. You can find me regularly on my own Twitch channel, DMB Gaming __. That's of course twitch.tv. Thursday nights I run a Pathfinder first edition game. You can find me sporadically on Friday nights at twitch.tv/the Bard's Playhouse, where I play a Nosferatu anarch named Cassius. And Saturdays, you can find me on the same Twitch channel as the storyteller for Fall of London, which is going to be wrapping up soon, and possibly for one-shots and things like that. We've got a lot of stuff planned over at the Bard's Playhouse, so if you don't follow the Bard's Playhouse, please do. That is my primary project at this time. Tonight, I am playing Maximus Habitus, the La Sombra Masquerade enforcer, and well, he has feelings about what's happening right now, which is atypical of Maximus. So we'll see how things go tonight.
It's gonna be a lot of feelings. And hi, Mari. I'm the storyteller for this, but I'm also a partner at the Bear Pen. You can see me on Blood on the Bayou. It's my other big project for here, where I play Elijah Smith, the resident Toreador who may or may not have an attitude problem. But if you want to find me on the internet, it is Small Shadow Snack on the Twitter. It is a possum museum at this point. So if you like possums, go over there and check out all the possums that I post. But for now, let's settle in for episode 4, Libera Me. Welcome back, everybody. The city has had an eventful couple of nights. Currently, our coterie has found itself outside the Firelight Data Encryption Company, centered in downtown, where the top floor of the building has just imploded on itself. They also, a couple of them, have heard explosions from other sides of the city, and Tech got a video from the same mastermind behind the entire plot. As you all are standing out of here, the explosion still ringing around, what all are you gonna do?
I figure this is going to go one way or the other. So I am going to activate Unswayable Mind just in case. Then I'm going to follow Maximus's lead.
I am
Maximus.
going.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to activate Sense the Unseen in case anyone's fleeing.
First thing Maximus is going to do. Are there any kind that are like in the immediate vicinity that witnessed it, like that are on the street that we can see?
It is downtown, so there are people who have been mingling about outside. You do see that most people who were on the street have started to flee away from it. The doors to the building have opened, and while it is very late at night, there isn't a lot of people inside the building. You do see like security guards pour out, maybe one or two upper management or technicians that have been working late, you know, looking a little dazed, running out. Everybody go ahead and roll me wits and awareness, please.
Successes.
3.
3.
1.
3 successes.
Tech is distracted.
Couldn't imagine why.
8 with the crit.
8 with a crit. Excellent.
Well, we know what Alice is good at.
Tech, you are exceedingly distracted. Perhaps it's because you did receive a video on your phone. You're probably still a little absorbed in trying to figure that out. The rest of you, as you're watching the people, two of the security guards that have came out have started to walk away from the building. Looks like they're heading for a parking garage nearby. And Alice, were you using Sense the Unseen with that roll?
I was. I did forget to add
Excellent.
those dice, but I don't think I need to.
It was a very good roll. Alice, as you're focused on the crowd, you hear a noise coming from the alleyway where a door has opened up and you see a figure exit. For a moment, he you could tell it's a young man standing there with like a messenger bag, a leather messenger bag, a pair of jeans, pair of very battered looking Converse, and a sweater, like a little sweater cardigan. He looks kind of nerdy. Like you wouldn't pass a second glance normally, except for the fact that his form has this wavy, almost haziness around it. And you do know with obfuscate that you are piercing through an obfuscate ability.
I'm going to point in that direction, say I'm going that way, and disappear with Unseen Passage and try and follow.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
That is stealth and
Dex and
dexterity?
stealth.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
And then do I just add my obfuscate die?
Yep.
Three.
You follow him. It doesn't look like he's appeared to have noticed your presence, but he's walking towards the parking garage as well.
So that the security guard that exited the building and is going towards the parking garage, is he just like this is casually just walking out of the building and going to the parking garage?
It looks like at first, because there's like a crowd that started to mingle, like you know how people are when there's been a disaster. You get the little crowd that's standing in an area. It looked, as he came out, as both of them, because there's two of them, they came out, they looked like they were rushing in a hurry, but the instant they got into the crowd, they kind of just started to walk a bit normally.
That's sus. I'm following him.
Yep. Okay.
I also send a text message, which takes me much too long as I'm following. I'm trying to like holding my phone like here so that I can look at the text and still see him like out of my peripheral vision. To the sheriff first, and then I have to send a second message to Azra with the address, and then say need someone who can do mind stuff on multiple people.
You do not get a text back from Ash. Azra does respond, and it comes in very quick. Going to get Mateo, that's his thing, unless A is there, which you know is her shorthand for Eloise.
God, what would I respond to that? He is MIA.
You get a text back that simply says, fuck. And then followed with a text of contacting P.
Good luck.
And
yeah, I'm just following that security guard.
You're following them. Are you being stealthy about it?
Oh, God, no.
Okay. Excellent.
I can. I'm not. No. Maximus is very direct and would not sneak unless he absolutely needed to.
That said, Tech is going to follow along with Maximus, but he is going to kick on Unseen Passage. So yeah, he is going to be stealthy to keep it unknown that Maximus has any kind of backup unless the person's able to detect some other way.
I am also going to go ahead and activate Prowess for the scene just as a preemptive.
And I succeeded the rouse check. Let me go ahead and make that stealth check. And 5 successes on the stealth.
Nice.
Very, very sneaky, sir.
Are there any injured mortals coming out of this building?
Roll me I'm gonna say your intelligence or wits and your medicine. See if you notice anybody that looks a little injured. And Rich, what's Rich's plan?
So it did. Am I wrong in my assessment that Alice has gone in one direction after one character, and then Maximus has taken up another direction?
You are
What
correct.
okay.
Alice also did go invisible.
Okay, very true.
Yeah,
Okay,
but she
cool.
did. I think if I remember
did
right,
point.
she pointed out that that's where she was going first.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think Rich would have, if the invisibility was involved, I don't think it wouldn't have made much sense. I wouldn't have followed that lead. I'd have been like, wait, what? So I imagine then I would probably be inclined to keep in track with Maximus. Kind of makes the most sense to me.
Okay.
Probably following up, maybe not right at his side though, giving him a little bit of a berth. He got
That's good.
exploded off a roof last time.
Oh, it's the same night. I can't heal the damage yet. Fantastic.
And what was your roll?
I got 3 10s.
Okay, so five successes. You do see what looks to be a security guard that's looks a bit dazed, like holding their head a bit. They were most likely up higher when the explosion happened and is just looking a little rattled. One of the techs appears to be about to have a panic attack.
Cool. I'm going to throw open the back of the van because I'm just set for all first aid emergency situations because that's where blood comes from. And I'm going to start setting up a triage. I will start asking them questions to see if I can get a little information out of them. But if there's not much going on, then I'm going to cloud memory anybody that I get an opportunity to treat. So you get first aid and a little bit of a fuzzy memory.
Oh, yep, they are mortals. They do not resist you. The tech is a young woman, auburn hair kind of piled up on top of her head. She's and you have your medical credentials on you.
Sure, clip, ready to go.
And she's like, yeah, I'm up on the 4th floor. I was just about to clock out. Wow, that was very scary. I didn't know what was going on, and the sirens all started to go off, and I just didn't. She's shaking, like as she's speaking, like she's very obviously affected mentally by just being scared. The security guard, you do get that he was up higher, closer to the top floor. The building is 7 stories tall. He was just doing his rounds. He's like, yeah, I was almost up to the door, about to exit up onto the 7th floor when that explosion happened. I think I hit my head on the wall. And as you're like looking through, you do see like a little bit of blood in his hair where it looks like he clunked his head against the wall. Dazed, but you're capable of treating him to make sure he's okay.
I give the lady some water. I provide legitimate first aid treatment. I give him a cold compress. I tell him, to stay awake, hold still for a little bit. Knowing that was traumatic for her, I will take away that moment for her and make sure that she's okay. And I'm just watching because if that security guard, the other security guard, just kind of casually strolled away, I'm just gonna keep a lookout for anybody else who needs treatment, and then see if I see anybody else looking as sus as those other people.
Go ahead and roll another wits and awareness as you're scanning the crowd.
6s and above?
Yes.
5 successes.
5 successes, excellent. As you're scanning through the crowd, and you do see it looks like just a lot of people who just become very curious, like craning their necks. Like a couple people whispered in hushed tones. You can see one or two of them are on the phone, probably contacting emergency services. But as you're looking around, you can see like another couple plumes of smoke popping up from the other couple of areas that were hit as well. So you know that emergency services are a little busy. They're responding as fast as they can, but they're a little busy right now.
These are other plumes of smoke from the building or other places in the city?
Other places. So there was
Oh.
2 other explosions before the top floor went on this building.
Uh-oh, okay.
And as you're looking through the crowd, you see a man in a leather jacket, kind of got his head down a little bit, looks like he's smoking a cigarette. Just kind of like looking through, almost as if like he's looking for somebody and then he doesn't see them. He briefly looks at you. Doesn't seem to register who you are. And then kind of like walks a little farther down into an alleyway. Almost as if he's going to wait for somebody.
Okay. And everyone else has left me though, right? There's nobody here.
Yep. Alice is off on
Cool.
her own. The other 3 are heading after 2 security guards.
Can I see him in the alley? Can I keep one eye on him?
He disappeared farther down the alleyway, so you would have to move.
I tell the 2 humans I have with me, I'm going to go get some help. Stay here. And I'm going to head over to the alley.
Okay.
That seems like a good idea.
Are you sneaking?
I'm walking with purpose.
You get to the alleyway and you peer down and you don't see him. But as you're looking in the alleyway, you can see like there's like one of those industrial dumpsters, and then behind one of the buildings looks like there was like another very small alleyway, like that he potentially could have gone down, almost as if he was circling back around. A possibility, like there's like the
Okay.
alleyway does go down and it does like go onto the street on the other side.
I'll just yell down the alley. If you need help or somewhere to wait, you can always just help out while you're waiting, you know. And then I go back to the van.
Excellent. You don't get a response. Alice, you are following a hazy cardigan figure.
Is it who I think it is?
Who do you think it is?
I'm a guess a redhead.
It is a redhead.
That's what I thought. So I am not equipped to deal with this on my own, so I am just going to follow.
Excellent. You're following, and you see him. He's not walking fast. You just kind of like, he's still under the impression you can't see him. And he turns down behind the building. It looks like he's going behind the building, probably angling back to where that car park is, but he just didn't want to go out front. Are you still following him?
I'm going to follow him until I reasonably cannot anymore, and then even then I might still make an attempt.
Excellent. Roll me a wits and awareness.
I'm assuming you don't want my I lost the aspects on top of that.
You've already spotted him. You're already piercing through his obfuscate.
You know what? Fuck it. 6 with the messy crit.
6 with a messy crit.
I'm not gonna fight the messy crit.
As you're speeding a little bit to catch up, to make sure you don't lose sight of him, you're rounding the corner and you can tell his footsteps have stopped. And as you round the corner, he has turned and he is pointing a 9mm at you.
If I look at my arm, am I seeable? Did I trip?
Nope.
Oh shit. Okay. So she'll just look at him, just, hi, I see you.
Yes, I know. I can see you too.
I didn't know you couldn't.
You see, he's still got it in his hand, and his stance looks like he's trained to do it. And he just goes, surprise.
Oh
And his
no, I
voice,
was more surprised you couldn't. I don't.
oh, that's a surprise. And his voice is soft, and he's got a Scottish lilt to it as he's talking. So, why are you following me?
You walk away from an exploded building and don't think people are following you?
Well,
I'm just the one you saw.
oh, I'm pretty sure nobody else. I think your friends might not have clocked me.
I did.
So, who are you?
Oh, that's funny. I thought you knew.
I mean, to be honest, most people tend to blur after a little bit.
I give you a hint, but the hint I have in mind probably isn't much of a hint. You hacked my phone, but again, you've probably done that to a ton of people.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, you know. Most people tend to not know when I do it.
Oh, you weren't hiding it.
Yeah. That's right. You're the one I had to get in contact with to get a hold of tech. Because that Nos don't like to answer my phone.
You're not special. He doesn't answer anybody.
Yeah, no. Figured he might like me a bit more, though.
I can't
But-
imagine why.
Not a surprise that he doesn't.
Blowing up buildings really gets people to like you, I'm sure.
It's never steered me wrong.
That says a lot about you.
I mean, everybody's got their things to do.
But I have a feeling you'd do it even if they didn't. And Alice is very much stalling because she knows that the other people are going for the parking garage as well.
You see, he does like kind of like tilt his head a little bit when he looks at you, almost like he's trying to like look over his shoulder a little bit.
And she's not trying to whisper. She has like purposely dropped unseen passage by talking.
Yeah, his is dropped too, and you see the haziness flicker around him. He looks at you and goes, "Oh, that's fine. You can't really escape anyhow, and I need you to roll me a wits and resolve."
Willpower on that. 5.
You feel the walls of the alley start to press around you as you suddenly feel a terror start to well up in your chest.
We playing games.
You get the sense that you are lost in this alleyway as the effects of mental maze take over your mind.
Can I still see the person in front of me?
You can.
Okay. I am going to tell them to stop it.
He just grins at you
Oh no, with mesmerize. I forgot that part.
Mesmerize. Excellent. Go ahead and roll it. What's the
You have to roll resolve. Oh wait, no, it's intelligence and resolve for you. Spent a willpower for good measure and have 7, 8, 9 with a crit.
9
Double
with the
crit, actually.
Excellent. You do see for a moment he's looking at you, and then the effect drops.
Thank you.
He looks a little annoyed. Like he wasn't expecting you to use an ability against him. And I
If
need
you want
you
to play games, we can play games.
I like games. And I need you to make me a Dex and Athletic roll as he fires the gun at you.
That's not a game, that's a gun. It is a 1. There's not much I can do to help that either.
You're going to take 2 points of superficial damage as the bullet tears in through your shoulder.
Non-phased with her health.
He kind of like backs up a little bit, and you do see him as he's backing up that the shadows in the alley seem to like start coming around to like block him a bit. It gets a little darker, and then he turns and runs away.
Can I catch him in a second before he turns?
You could try. So that will be strength and brawl.
Oh no, I meant with mesmerize.
With mesmerize. Do you have irresistible voice?
I don't know what that is.
It is a dominate and presence amalgam. Because when he noticed that you did something, he averted his gaze on you.
Then she is just gonna attempt to grab him.
Go ahead. Strength and brawl versus his dex and athletics.
Funny. That's the 0 that I can't really help.
You think you're about to grab him, and he slips right through your fingers. And he
shades him.
Go ahead. The other 3. You hear a gunshot in an alleyway behind the building as you guys are heading into the parking garage.
Would any part of the parking garage connect up to the alley? Like, does it have openings on the alley side?
So the parking garage backs up. The building's here. There's like a little looks like a little side street that cuts in between the two of them. That's probably for the buildings behind and the buildings through. It's just like a little through street with like a little crossing walk, and the alley does pop out right towards the back of the building, of the parking garage structure. Because again, like people come and go. There's back entrances for the cleaning staff and other like employee entrances for people who don't want to go through the front.
And is it a fully sealed parking garage, or is it one of those that has like openings to the outside on each level?
Oh, openings to the outside on each level.
Okay. Then Tech is going to soaring leap from the ground floor up a level and start darting towards the alley side of the parking garage.
Go ahead.
Actually, I did forget storyteller. I don't remember if I tried to heal any of this damage because it was last session that,
You
that
have
I
not.
took it right. Okay.
Yep.
I am going to attempt to heal one of the aggravated
Sure, go ahead.
and make 3 rouse checks. Well, my hunger increases by 2. So
Okay.
I'm up to 3.
Your beast is back to whispering in your ear, a sign that it's very hungry. And it was like, you sated me. Why are you we were at peace, but we can always eat again. There's people around here. There's a baby lasagna right next to you. We could have a quick bite.
No. I this security guard, how does he react to the gunshot sound?
Speeds up walking. Looks like he's heading for what looks to be a rather sleek black SUV.
So can I assume that he hasn't noticed us yet?
You don't know if he's noticed you yet.
Okay.
You're under
Has
the
he-
impression he hasn't.
Yeah, I was about to say, has he looked directly, like, has he looked back over his shoulder at us or no? Okay. And like just a loud enough voice for Rich to hear. Maximus says, tell me, Rich, can you do what I did with the shadows to the second Inquisition agent? This is an ability you have.
Yeah, I guess I would imagine in any bits of downtime we've had, I'd been trying to sort of tickle at those little shadow things, trying to manipulate what I can in the hope that I'd be able to do something as useful as what I saw your use of it had been.
Well, now is
So,
as good a time as any. And I just like
And-
point to the security guard.
Alrighty, let's give her a try. I imagine some weird like superhero pose, arms out, trying to make some significant expression of something. So I roll. Ooh, this would be something that
Wits.
would be good to have up. Wits and
Bolivian.
Yep. You do
Don't
have to
forget to
roll a rouse
rouse
check
check.
first, yeah.
okay, so the rouse check, I just do my hunger first.
Just one die roll.
Yeah. Failure. So hunger goes out.
What is the number on it?
I'm not sure. It just says 0 successes.
Oh, it doesn't give you the number on the dice roller.
Nah.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate because it matters for Oblivion powers.
Well, I can actually just, I do have a single D10. I can
Okay.
do that.
Yeah, because if you roll a 1 or a 10, you get a stain.
Get a
So
stain.
Oblivion be
Gotcha.
dark
I see.
Why would you want that?
because it's powerful as fuck.
All right, we got a.
I can
6.
rot somebody's limbs by touching them. That's a
Um,
success then.
Okay. Well,
And
good
like
thing.
I already said, it's wits and Oblivion.
You are
Okay.
trying to. Now, are you trying to grab them by the feet, to the hand, wrap it around their body? Because I'm assuming you're about to use Arms of Ahriman.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it would probably be just. I'm just gonna be shooting for one single tentacle, and then yeah. In my head, probably grabbing by the leg, lifting, hoisting up by the leg.
Yep.
That seems.
Go ahead and roll it.
So
What is your blood potency, by the way, Dom?
1. I believe.
Okay. And we're using the companion rules, right, Ari?
Mhm.
Okay, so don't forget to add 1 extra dice because this is a power roll.
Oh no. Oh well, I'll just roll it. Oh, a 6. So 2 successes, and then I just as a 6 a success, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
3
3
successes.
successes.
You are swiping out, and the guard has turned because he did eventually clock you guys for following him. But you still hit him in the leg, and you do feel the tendril like curl around his ankle enough to like turn him around a little bit more. And you just see like he's looking down at it, looking like a little perturbed. And it's like, huh. You know, I never thought I'd see this up and close and personal.
As soon as Maximus sees the shadow, the arms of Armon make a connection, he takes off in a dead sprint, like with the intent to tackle this guy.
Okay, go ahead. I also need you to roll me a wits and awareness.
I'll roll that first. Oh, I rolled one too many hunger dice. 2 successes on the wits and awareness.
You're running to tackle him as another tendril of shadow shoots out from the wall in front, almost to like block where you're going in front of him.
Oh wait.
Okay. What would you like for me to roll?
It's not grappling you. It's just like whipped out in front of you as if it's a warning.
I completely disregard that warning.
Excellent.
6 successes, no crit.
You're able to tackle him. He did not appear to be, he was looking down at the oblivion a little bit perturbed by it, like moving his leg around to see if he could like get out of it, but it very obviously wasn't working for him. You do tackle him into the van, a little rougher than you probably were anticipating. You do hear a clunk as he like hits the panel door.
I was definitely intending to harm him.
Okay, good. You do see him like his head kind of clonk back a little bit. He looks a little dazed.
The hand with the ring that matches his necklace like grabs onto this guy's head. I don't activate Touch of Oblivion yet,
Okay.
but I'm like shoving his head into the van. And I am going to try to get some information out of him. So he's not able to look me in the eye, but my eyes are black with Oblivion sight right now. And I just say, you've got one chance to convince me why I don't kill you right now. Why were you in that building? Where is Rory? And is Alois okay? And I would like to roll manipulation intimidation if I can.
Sure, go ahead. I believe that resist should be composure. Resolve.
Yeah, no, I'd probably say that's a good one. Three successes.
He looks at you, doesn't meet your eyes, and just grins and goes, "What makes you think I care about those blank bodies?" He's not intimidated by you. He rolled a 4.
Okay. I'm going to let Rich take an action if he so chooses before I to my next one.
Is him having gone into the van separated
Nope.
No.
Nope. Still attached to
Um,
him.
I guess I don't. I'm wondering if I should be more focused on the big old tentacle that came flying out in front of you. That you just kind of side
It
passed, right?
has vanished. If you
Oh,
want to see
okay.
where the source is, roll me
That's
wits and
yeah, I
awareness.
would probably be doing that, and then I guess
Add,
activating Oblivion Sight.
yeah, add your Oblivion dice to it.
Alrighty. You said wits and awareness?
Wits and awareness plus Oblivion. So add however many dots of Oblivion to your roll.
Yep. Okay. Ooh, wee, that's a lot of dice. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. 4 successes.
4 successes. The far side of the parking garage
Mm-hmm.
is dark. And because you have your Oblivion sight activated, you can see through it. And you can see a flickering black figure standing there. And its eyes are locked onto where Maximus and this guy are. And we're gonna go real quick to tech.
So once Tech gets over to the edge of the building leading into the alley, I'm assuming from where he is, he'd be able to see both of them in the alley, or is he only close enough to see one?
You're from your vantage point, because you're up a little higher, and you've moved to a place where you can actually see down the alleyway. And you do see Alice chasing a figure that you know to be Rory.
All right. I think Tech is going to go ahead and rouse real quick to get a blood buff going. And he is going to get hungrier. Puts him up to 3 hunger now. And I believe we are going to soaring leap out and attempt to tackle down Rory.
Go ahead.
Five successes.
You see him as you're leaping off. He looks up at you. And he's seen where you are. And for the briefest moment, you think he's going to move out of your reach. But as you come down, you just straight into him.
And at that, Tech is going to attempt to just kind of forcibly pin Rory to the ground.
You're able to do that. You see he is trying to like push you off, but again, the cardigan's a bit deceiving. He's very, very thin, and you've seen Rory up close before. You do know that the effects of his human life, he looks perpetually exhausted. Like, he looks like in life he was not taking care of himself, exhausted all the time, probably survived off coffee and energy drinks. So he's not putting up much of a fight.
Gonna stop running, but still continue up to approach.
And Tech will kind of look back over his shoulder at Alice. This one giving you any problems?
A bit. But I like to think I'm a little harder to mess with than that. And she will, from her belt, she will just unclip a little knife and just twirl it.
And Teck'll drag Rory up to his feet and kind of hold
The
him.
dragging is a bit more difficult because, again, you're getting mostly cardigan in his shirt. So you're really pulling him up by his cardigan. And you just see he's like not very pleased. He's like trying to actively kick you in the leg. But again, it's not going his way. Like, you very obviously got him in your grasp.
One of the times when he kind of kicks at Tech there and hits him in the shin, Tech's just going to kind of lean in from behind him a little bit while he's got him kind of wrapped around the waist and just say, "Don't give me a reason, darling. Don't give me a reason."
You try anything, you order me dinner first, Tech. And I'm not cheap.
He's going to kind of present Rory to Alice.
She's thinking for a minute. Trying to figure out.
Closed his eyes because you're
That's
this
fair.
close to him. He's closed his eyes.
That's fair. She will hold a knife up to his neck, not like pressing, but enough for him to know it's there. Purely to spook him at this point. She has no intent to do anything yet. But you made a bit of a mistake here, bud.
Really? I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Oh, I'm not even talking about right now. See, you could have gotten away with this, but you took out someone I liked, and that's where you fucked up. Because now I have a reason. And you shot me. That's also not super great for you.
I mean, I obviously didn't kill you.
Well, no, not me. I can still kill you. And she will press the knife. Not enough to do damage, but enough to show him that you will.
You see him. He kind of makes a little laugh sound. He goes, "I've died once. I'm really not afraid to do it again." And one of his hands was in his messenger bag. And as he pulls it out, he pulls out a grenade and flicks the pin out of it. He's still got it holding in his hand.
His eyes are still shut.
Mm-hmm.
See, I have a feeling here that I might make it out of here better than you will. So I'm really not scared of you. But I should say that the second death is a little more permanent.
Like I said, I'm not afraid to die.
That doesn't say much. It's not stoic.
Tech and Alice, roll me wits and awareness. Anne, you've heard the gunshot. What are you doing?
Do I see any emergency vehicles approaching?
You do see lights coming. It looks like they're having a difficulty because there is like a little bit of a crowd that's gathered, but there has a police cars pulled up and is trying to like move people away. As the ambulance is trying to make its way down just to check everything out.
I grab my vampire first aid kit. It's a little different than my regular first aid kit. I have my daggers in my bag, and I text the group, "I'm going after Patty," and I go in the building.
Excellent. Alice, would you have handed over the key card? Or Rhea, would you have snatched one off one of your two patients?
Oh, certainly. If there was anything on them, yeah, anything that they had on them, pocket.
Yep.
Mode of operation.
You managed to get the IT woman's ID card. Hers was easy because it was clipped to her. Her name's Rebecca. And you have a key card, so you're able to get into the building. Again, nobody's paying too much of attention for where you're going. Are you using the side entrance or the main entrance?
I'm walking in the front door.
You do hear a police officer go, ma'am, that's not advisable in this situation.
I hold up my badge, emergency services. And
Carry on.
And I run in, yeah.
Like it's very obvious it is one officer, and she's a shorter woman with like slicked back black hair. Like she's dealing with the crowd until like reinforcements arrive. You are not the least of her concerns right now. So you're gonna go find Patty.
Do my best. What does the lobby look like?
So the lobby there's 2 elevators behind a circular desk, which is where normally security would sit. There's like a staircase going up the side on either wings. There's 2 hallways. You do see like a sign that says stairs. That's probably used for maintenance purposes. Again, it's got a key badge on it, so you actually need to badge in, which you have Rebecca's badge. The stairs are probably the best bet because it goes up and down, so you're able to go either way.
Yeah, this is a burning building. Remembering from what I know from my premonition, I know Patty was somewhere cold, correct?
Mhm.
I'm going to go over to the stairs, try the key card.
And you hear a little click as the door unlocks.
Nice. Anybody there? Is there anybody in the stairwell?
Nope.
I go down.
As you go down, the lights are off, but there's like a blinking red emergency light just signifying, hey, let's leave. And you do hear the blaring of the alarm, and it echoes horribly inside there. You go down, and there's a door, like you down around, there's a door that says basement 1.
There's a basement 1. I'm guessing there's a basement 2. Are there more stairs?
Yep, goes down.
I continue down.
And you do hit, this is the last area of the stairs. It says basement 2. And as you're down here, even though you're a kindred, it's a bit cold. You feel that this is probably, they might keep servers down here, so it's kept at a temperature that's going to keep them from overheating. And you badge in, you find yourself in a hallway with like a couple doors on either side. One that says like housekeeping. One farther down that says maintenance, and it's got the electrical warning on it. Authorized personnel only. And then a couple other doors down that are just like you can like look in because there's a piece of glass on them and say that those are where the servers are.
Do any of these doors look familiar to me from the premonition?
The housekeeping door.
Housekeeping door. I go over to the housekeeping door. I try the key.
It unlocks it.
Dagger in hand, I try the doorknob and push the door open with my shoulder.
You open the door. Inside are 2 like metal shelves that have got like cleaning supplies and like looks like racks of paper towels and anything that might be necessary. It's a smaller room. As you enter and you're like looking around, you fumble for where the light switch is. It clicks on, and you see in one of the corners is a grubby Nosferatu that has a stake right through their chest.
He appears to be in torpor.
He's staked. So roll me let's do intelligence and medicine.
Oh, I got some medicine. That's an 8. 2 successes.
You've been around Kindred before. You feel like he's just staked right now.
Other than that, does he look damaged in any way?
There, and as you're looking at him, Patty looks like an Nosferatu. You would expect. He's not the prettiest of people. Hood kind of pulled up over his head, and as you're like looking at his face, you can see that it is appears to be like his jaw was dislocated. He's got like this, like his eyes are like closed.
Mm.
And he looks like there's like a little bit of dried blood coming out of his mouth, probably left over from when Kieran attacked him at his haven.
I'm going to lick the blood off his face, activate taste of blood, and see if I can see how damaged he is. If I untorpor him, or if I pull the stake out, if he's going to be able to get himself out of here with me.
Go ahead and roll it.
Lick in the face of a Nosferatu. 3 successes.
You get the feeling that if you pulled the stake, he's probably going to be very, very hungry, but he's not in torpor.
I pull the stake out.
It takes exactly 2 seconds before his eyes shoot up, and Patty has very vibrantly green eyes, but they look a little reptile-like. And you see he does this, looks around and goes, "Where is he? Who are you? Where am I?"
My name is Ria. This is a rescue. Follow me.
Where's Toast? And he's like
Toast
patting.
Is good. Toast is so good. Toast is so good. Tech took care of him.
Oh God! Tech now. What the hell? You see he's like struggling to get up. He's like, "You don't happen to have anything to eat, do you? I'm very hungry."
I go into my bag and I pull out a vial of Vitae. It's a kind of wrapped special. I hand it to him. Like, it's not super fresh, but it should do for now.
Yeah, it'll do for now. Oh, it's gonna be gross. And you do see he drinks it, makes an entire face, and just was like, thank you. That's dope. Don't. Oh, is Tech here? Please tell me Tech's not here.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. What happened? I was at my house, and then that wannabe Bruja got me, and I'm gonna punch him in the face next time I see him.
As we're running, I'm just saying like single word things like La Sombra, building on fire. Let's go.
Building on fire gets moved a lot quicker. And we will switch back to Max and Rich because they are having a security guard, and Rich sees a shadowy La Sombra in the corner.
I think. Where did you say I saw him in the like? He's just in the top corner of the
So
thing looking
as
down.
you're looking, you can see what it looks to be like where the stairwell like leading up, like car parks have those, and then there's an elevator. He's standing over there.
Okay, I guess what I'm wondering is there, would I have any reason to believe I could somehow, using my arms of airman, push him out of or onto, like, bring him down to the floor level? Or is that, am I guessing that's far?
He's on the same floor as you.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
He hasn't moved. He's eyeing Maximus and the security guard. Well, this security guard.
Gotcha.
You do
man,
see
I guess
his head turns to look at you, and with the oblivion like flickering the way that it is, it's kind of hard to get a read on like facial features a little bit. You do see a single gray blue eye like look at you, and as you're looking at him, you realize that the darkness across his skin is not oblivion. It is burnt, cracked skin.
That's just spooky. How far away is he compared to how far away Maximus is?
Probably a good.
Like, are they like similarly distant, or is it like Maximus is much closer to me than this other guy, or vice
Maximus
versa?
is farther away. You are the closer.
Farther
to him.
away. Okay. Okay. Oh man, I feel very inclined to do anything I can not to have him surprise Maximus. Um, before I go about trying to announce to Maximus that he's there. So I guess I'm thinking I want to how does redoing the like taking away and then recasting the arms of airmen work? Is there any I just choose to do that?
So the wording of it is that if you, as long as you were still concentrating on it on your last turn, you don't have to activate it again. You can just change the target. If you had like stopped using it, then you would have to rouse to activate it again.
I see.
But you could just
Okay.
make another Wits and Oblivion roll to have it slither over there and try to get him if that's what your target is.
That is, yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming to do. Yeah, my goal being to basically restrain him so that I can then announce his presence to Maximus, as I think having a La Sombra you're unaware of looking at you from the shadows isn't great. It's not a good way to be.
As
Um,
you're moving
go ahead.
it, I need you to make me a composure and resolve check.
Okay, so which one first? Doesn't matter, or
I'd say composure and resolve first, because he's
okay.
staring at you now.
Yeah. Okay. 2 successes on the composure resolve.
You, being closer, can see the burnt skin around where you assume his mouth is move, and you just see a glint of fangs. You don't want to get close to him.
I don't want to get close to him.
You do not want to get close to him.
Does that affect my arm? Does that affect my desire there?
You get the sense that if you were to move it, you probably wouldn't like the consequences.
Okay.
And you do see like it's two. He has a double row of fangs, so one's longer and one's smaller, and he's just snarls at you.
Oh man. Okay, then I'm probably
And then
yelling
looks where
for
Maximus is
attention.
and goes, and you get the slight German lilt. Kill him, Maximus.
Do I recognize the voice?
You know the voice is the Seneschal of Dallas.
Oh man.
Maximus hears that, recognize the voice, and is a little bit too wrapped up in the moment and with his hunger to like really register it. And the fact that this is another Second Inquisition agent, it just sighs. You Inquisitors are all the same. You think that you're holier than all of us, and that our power is from the devil, or that we're evil. This is not true. You see, my power is given to me by God, the same God that you profess to serve. So may he rest your soul. And I'm gonna, using lethal body, like the hand that does not have his head, so my right hand like cocks back, and is just I'm gonna try to like punch through his back and rip his heart out of his back.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna blood surge strength. I don't get hungrier. 4, 5, 6, 7. And if he is a regular human, the damage that's dealt by the margin is aggravated instead of superficial. and ignores 2 points of body armor if he's wearing any.
You have your hand on him. He's not wearing body armor. He's wearing what looks like just one of the security guards. So a white shirt, a navy blazer with like a tie.
I'm going to spend a willpower. Seven successes.
With your lethal body, because it does aggravated damage to mortals, he resists you a little bit, but it's not enough. You're able to punch through his chest, no problem.
Yeah, and there's no like anger or anything behind the action. It's just more of like, actually, to be fair, if somebody were looking at Maximus's face, there would be pity on his face for these Inquisition agents that think, that they're serving God whenever he knows truly he is. And like just rips the heart out, and I'm going to slake as much hunger as I can off of the heart. I'm going to like put it above my mouth and squeeze it.
Okay. You're able to reduce your hunger by 1.
Right.
And as the guard falls lifeless in your
I would still be
grasp.
holding him. Sorry, because I'm gonna shove him into the car afterwards.
Okay. Yep, you're able to open it. And the shadows do like recede around him. And Rich, you can see it looks like cracked skin, black, blistered. You can see red, like where it looks like in between as the seneschal steps out of the darkness. Do not pity them, Maximus. It's unbecoming.
I am happy to know that you made it out alive, Seneschal.
And as you're looking at him, you can see like his almost white blonde hair is like barely still there. It looks like it was a barely survived.
Can I help in any way?
He looks at Rich for a moment, almost considering him. And you do get the sense that like, as he's staring at you, Rich, he's eyeing you up as a snack.
A small shadow snack.
And he seems to rein himself in enough and goes, I have the other 2 to worry about.
I'd probably be like dodging that attention completely, as uncomfortable as I think he made me.
He definitely made you exceedingly
Cowering under
uncomfortable. And looks at Maximus and goes, where's Rory? And did you deal with Kieran?
I'm assuming that Rory is the source of the gunshot that we just heard. Kieran, I've not heard from. Actually, I should mention, did Tech say anything about Kieran attacking him in his haven? Alex?
Not so far, no.
Okay, then yeah. I do not know where Kieran is, although I'm sure, as you already know, he is involved. Are you sure that you don't? I'm perfectly capable of helping you.
He turns his attention back to you because he had still been staring hardcore at Rich, and just goes, I appreciate the offer, but it will not end well for you. And you're more valuable to me in your current state.
Well, I suppose then that means we need to go stop whoever is dealing with Rory so that we can kill two birds with one stone, as it were.
I think my walking out of this parking garage, and he does like look around almost like he's disgusted that he's in the parking garage, is not a good idea. And he does kind of like gesture a little bit. His arm movement is a bit jerky because again, he's severely injured towards where the light blue and red glow of like the emergency services vehicle is like it would not be a good idea. Your phone works.
Yes.
He gives you a number and says text it.
I do.
And he goes, tell them to come pick me up.
Any particular code name that I should be using?
He knows who it is.
Okay. I text the number, need pickup at Firelight ASAP.
Your phone rings. It's the same number you typed in.
I look to Alois.
Answer it, please.
I pick it up.
And you hear on the other end of the line a familiar voice. It's the same one Rich, when the phone was handed to Rich, who was on it. It's Theodore, the second herald of Dallas. You get a, is he all right? I'm on my way. Had some trouble here at the house, and you do hear you do see Alois kind of like look at the phone a bit more. Dealt with it. But I'm on my way. It might take me a little bit.
He is far from okay. Theo, I understand that the situation is strange right now, and he will need food.
I'll stop and pick something up. You do hear like he's like a jingle of keys, and like there's like a pause before you hear a door that like you assume he's going out like the front door of wherever he is, and he goes, I'll be there as soon as possible. The building, is he in the building? Is it the parking garage? Is it the area down farther away?
Parking garage.
All right, I'm on my way. Have you heard from Mateo or Azra?
They should be on their way.
Okay. I haven't heard back from Ash. She went after the one that came to the house.
She has not responded to my messages either.
I'll try her again. Is he there?
Yes.
And you hear him pause, and then does Max or Rich speak German? He says something in German. Alois responds, and he goes, all right, thank you, Max. Tell him to wait somewhere safe. I'll be right there. And he hangs up.
Maximus speaks Latin.
Eloise looks at you and goes, I want Rory here alive. I want to deal with him personally.
There is a struggle on Maximus's face. I suppose that you will be able to convince the prince that the right of destruction is yours, as he attacked you in your own domain. However, and you know that I am not one to disrespect your authority, Seneschal. Is it true what he said?
Depends on what he said. And he looks at Rich again. And Rich, you don't want to go near him you want to be on the other side of Maximus. You just
I'm
don't want to be
glistening.
near him.
I look back over to Rich and then see that, he's been looking at him, and I look at Rich and I like point in the direction of the gunshot that it came from the alley.
Sort of start whistling, put my hands in my pockets, start backing off. So see you guys. Swoop.
He does look back to you once Rich has like gotten farther away. He is like, it's not really worth the effort, and looks at you and goes, depends on what Rory said. You should be aware the prince isn't in town right now.
That is none of my concern, and I'm sure that he delegated his authority appropriately, as he always
did.
does. So,
Unfortunately, I'm assuming he'll be back tonight.
Seneschal, in your position, I am certain that you are aware of just about every single rumor that comes in and out of this city, and then some.
Most of them. There've been a couple, I'm guessing. Unfortunately, some of my communications go through. And you do see him grit his teeth. He goes, my child deals with them on occasion. So I'm sure if he's behind this, there's some that I am missing.
Do we know that if he's talking about Rory?
Inferred that he is.
Okay, all right. Seneschal, the rumors are that Rory was thin-blooded.
Unfortunately, it's much worse than that. The boy is clanless.
One of those is said to be directly cause of Gehenna. The other is not. However, I don't want to argue semantics with you. He said that you tried to re-embrace him. A video that was sent out.
You misunderstand. Rory was Kieran's ghoul. You are well aware that Kieran and I had the same sire. You are aware of who my sire was.
Yes, character would know that. Player does not.
Kieran overstepped his boundaries, and I, in a moment of, and you just see he like looks up at the ceiling of the thing of the building, almost like he's like not really wanting to fully say it, and goes, I had a moment where in my rage I took his ghoul from him.
Took as in gained possession of or killed?
I embraced him.
Yes, I can see how that would cause problems.
Rory was that ghoul.
And I'm assuming that his embrace was not sanctioned.
Oh, it was. The prince has long told me that if I wish to embrace one person, I could. He was
Generous of him.
displeased in my methods. We had a talk, and it is taken care of.
So this entire beef is truly between you and Kieran, and Rory is the fallout.
Unfortunately, it appears that Rory was not happy with things.
Clearly. I will bring him to you if that is what your command is.
Yes,
However,
please.
humor me, if you would. He has egregiously broken the Masquerade.
I am aware.
Tell me that he is not going to receive mercy simply because he is your childer.
I am not going to send him to final death. That is for the prince to decide, which I assume Vicente's heard about it already and is on his way home.
I'm going to make a quick roll for
However,
player. I'm not interacting with him. I'm making a mental roll for Maximus.
okay.
All right, well, whenever the master says sit, the dog sits. Maximus grits his teeth and is very unhappy with that answer, but is still going to do it because he is but a simple neonate, and Rory and Alois is the seneschal of the city.
At that time, Tech, what has happened?
So on the wits and awareness, I got 4 successes.
6.
Tech, Alice, you're the one who hears it, who sees him first. Stepping into the alleyway from the area of the parking garage, which Tech has his back to, steps a tall man with salt and pepper hair and a leather jacket. Tech, you hear his footsteps 2 seconds before he grabs the back of your hoodie and pulls.
Sweet, because Tech was probably in the midst of telling Rory, it's a shame that you chose that route. And probably as he's being pulled back, as he is also grabbing Rory and slamming him into the ground in the hopes of, 1, discombobulating him enough to make him drop the grenade and blow himself up.
You, as you're being yanked back and Rory is dropped one way, you do see the grenade rolls away from him towards where Alice is. And Alice, you hear it as it's sliding down. And then you feel a quick hand around your waist before you are swooped off to the other end of the alley. And there's an explosion.
Alice is very confused because she was eyeing the grenade, about to go a very different route than being thrown, and it's very discombobulated.
You are looking around. There's still an arm around your waist, and you're like looking back, and you see the hound Azra. Her eyes are big. She's covered in blood. She's got like looks like a nasty scar across her, nasty cut across her face. And she's got you in like the tightest of grips. You're fine, right?
I'm good. Let me go. I got this.
Oh, you almost didn't. You almost didn't.
I almost super had it.
No. That was a grenade. That was a grenade. No. And she does loosen her grip to like let you go.
She's not like fighting, but she's doing that like the flappy.
You do see she like puts you down, and you're taking stock of her. You can see her normal like athletic gear she wears is like got holes in it and like it's scraped up, and she's like, right, you're here, Tech's here. Oh, heck no.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And she's
yep, hold on.
running back.
Yeah, you do hear Azra jog along behind you. And Rory lands on the ground, and hard enough, you do hear his head hit the ground. And Tech, you have a very strong hand on the back of your neck. And you hear a little voice lean down and go, ready for round 2. So, Tech's just been pulled off. There's been an explosion. Rich is going to get them, and Rhea is leaving the building with a injured Nosferatu, while Maximus is dealing with a very hungry Seneschal. Rhea, how are you getting the Nosferatu out of the building without them being seen?
So you mentioned before that there were side doors. And did you say that Patty had a hoodie?
Yeah, he's wearing a gray, battered. It's been kind of like there's very obviously blood stain with a hole in it. But he's got his hood up over his head.
Well, if he's obviously covered in blood, I'll take off my scarves and my little vest thing, and I'll wrap it around him and find the side exit closest to the van. Patty, we're going to exit. We've been moving fast. The minute we get out the door, casual walking with purpose, okay?
Is there a sewer outside? An entrance?
Probably.
Okay.
Also, my van is outside. I'm equipped, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I appreciate
Up to
it,
you.
but I need to go hunt, and I need to find Kieran, and I need to find Toast, and
I think we need to take care of you.
well, I can go hunt. I'm
Okay.
I got this. It's not hard. I thank you for the help, but I need my
Okay.
rat.
I will. Okay, let's do this. I'll open the back door. I'll walk towards the crowd. You head the other way. Okay.
Got it. Yes, we can do this.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you. I hope whatever is happening here is goes in your favor.
Same.
And when you get out and you do split, you do see that there is a manhole cover in the alleyway, and that he lifts it up enough to like. And it's weird when you're watching him. It's very snake-like how he slithers down in there and just disappears.
Nice.
And when you do get outside and you're heading towards the van, you do hear the explosion of the grenade.
Great. And that's in the parking lot, right?
It's in the alley behind the building, close to where the parking garage is.
I'm going to get in the van and drive that way.
You're able to. Rich, how quick are you sprinting?
Well, I'm assuming the grenade go off, right? Yeah, so I would have definitely, if I wasn't going full speed before that, that's probably when I would have hastened my, movement.
You enter the alleyway, and again, you can see Alice and Azra at the far end, like heading back that way. And then Kieran's just got Tech up in the air by the back of the hoodie, and Rory's laying on the ground trying to like pull himself up, looking a bit dazed. There's like a little bit of blood coming from where his head hit the concrete from where Tech.
Right. I think I want to start taking shots at sorry, what's his name? The one who's got Tech?
Kieran, go ahead.
Kieran, yeah. That is what I think someone wants to do. So it's firearms and something?
Dex and firearms.
Dex and firearms, okay. 4 successes.
4 successes. He has his back to you, and it's very obvious he did not hear you even approach. He is very clearly got tech in his hand, and the bullets hit the back of his jacket, and you see him like jerk forward enough, and he loosens his grip enough that tech, if you want to attempt to wiggle out of his grasp, you can.
Actually, Tech is going to take this opportunity to show Kieran how annoying it is to grab a hold of somebody that presently has 5 dexterity and is very, very nimble.
Okay.
So he is going to actually go ahead and kind of kip and twist his body and get kind of a almost serpentine grip around Kieran. So while his hand is still attached to the back of Tech's hoodie, he's going to wrap his legs inward and around Kieran so that their legs are both tied up together. And then he's going to use his arms to kind of wrap one under his opposing arm, the one that's not holding him, and the other one up over his shoulder, and kind of clench his hands together so that he's just kind of got him wrapped up and viced.
I'm going to say dexterity and brawl. Because you're trying to be slithery, but you're also trying to maintain a grip. And because he's going to attempt to, with at least one hand, try and get you off.
Makes sense. I like this. All right, and make a note here. That'll put me at 3 superficial. I'm going to go ahead and spend a willpower.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So that is going to be 8 successes with a messy critical.
Messy crit. Your beast has taken over with your messy crit. What is it urging you to do? Because this guy has broken into your house, possibly destroyed your haven, and has just in general been a nuisance all night.
I think at this point, Tech is out and out compelled to take Kieran out. Yeah, I see it as he's on the cusp of a dominance frenzy at this point, with a bit of hunger lingering in there too, since his hunger is now up to 3. So he will be attempting to sink his fangs into any open spot on Kieran. Doesn't matter if it's the neck or anywhere else. He'll take a shoulder, he'll take the arm, he doesn't care, and begin to start trying to drain him dry.
Go ahead.
I will spend another willpower here. Not quite too impaired yet. All right.
How's that willpower track looking there, Tech?
I've got 4 superficial on it right now out of the 6 that I have available, so it's getting low at this point.
You're good.
But I still got a little room to spare before I'm impaired.
You're good.
5 successes with a crit. Not messy, but
You're able to sink your fangs into his shoulder where it looks like his jacket and your movements has slid his jacket down enough to expose where he's wearing a black tank top is. Right as his one free hand comes down on your arm and you feel it start to wither.
I already look nasty enough. That's fine.
You'll take a point of aggravated damage on your
That.
one arm. Rich, I need you to roll me a dex and athletics check.
Mhm. Oh no, where'd it go? There we go. 2 successes.
You're standing back far enough and you fired. Your gaze is mostly onto Kieran. You don't notice that Rory has pulled his gun back out and has fired 2 shots at you. You
Mm.
will take a point of superficial damage on your health track as the bullet slams into your stomach.
Oh man, not again.
And Alice and Rhea, you can hear the gunshots. Rhea, as you're pulling the van around, you do see like a couple of the police officers like look back to where the alleyway is and like start to head that way.
Dominate.
Dominate, go ahead.
Am I right? No, wrong. But it's similar. Mesmerize.
Mesmerize.
Sorry, my other vampire can dominate. So I'm going to mesmerize, and they're looking at me.
Like as you're pulling around, like they very obviously are like, as they're like running, just kind of like stop and like slow their run a little bit to like look at you, because this is like a very weird van to see pulling into in between the thing, and they're just like, what?
I do get hungrier.
Okay.
So I'm at hunger 3. So the command I give them is secure the building. So I'm sending them back towards the building.
You see they stop and they actually do turn and go back towards where the building is.
Phew. Coming in and looking at the scene, Tech is on who?
Tech has coiled himself in a way that physically should not be that possible. And has sunk his fangs into the leather-coated man that you had seen earlier in the crowd. And this man has his hand on Tech's arm, and you can see the black veins where like a normal vein would be as pure black, as like his fingers have started to coat black, and Tech's arm is withering.
And Rory is around too, correct?
Rory is on the ground, has sat up enough to be into like a crouched position, and has fired on Rich.
Yeah, so I see Tech taking his snack on this guy. I'm thinking, all right, this is what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and bite into Rory. Take what I can get.
Go ahead.
Take him down if I can.
Go ahead and try.
Mirror gunning for mirror.
I mean, delicious. What would you like me to roll?
Roll me strength and brawl to grab him and bite. And he will try to resist with trying to get away from you because he does see you coming. Maximus, you do see the van pull up. 2 successes. And Rhea get out, like you hear the door open, and you just see Alois go, like looks at you, and without like even doesn't even wordlessly say anything, he just goes.
Guess we'll have to finish our conversation later. And he, for the first time in these last few nights, will pull out his broadsword and is going to run over. Are we where I'm at? Am I like above them? Is this the level
Ground
of the
level.
parking? Oh,
Ground
same.
level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sure it's going to take me a second to get there, but I'm sprinting as fast as I can.
Rhea, as you go to bite into him, he does manage to shove you off.
I would like to bite the inside of my lip and
Okay.
spit on him anywhere where I see exposed skin.
Okay. Which would be his face, because he's wearing a long sleeve cardigan.
It
Hell
doesn't
yeah.
seem to do anything, just now he has my blood on his face.
Okay. You do see, like, it's very clear when you do, because you are in close quarters with him, spit it on his face, is he does recoil enough and, like, tries to wipe it off. You get a feeling, he's a bit of a germaphobe, probably
Good.
left over from human life. It just the way he's reacting and trying to get it off. Rich, this man has shot at you, but you were told to go get him.
I was intending next to, am I just carrying around this little slithery arm of Armin that I can or is this a recast?
You would recast it because there are lights.
Okay.
So when you
Oh,
ran, it disconnected because of how
cool.
there is a light. The alleyway is not entirely covered in darkness, but there are pop like sections where you could grab some oblivion from.
Where I can reach Rory, or would I
Yeah.
need to? Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that will be the goal, is to reach Rory with it. Okay, so it's Wits and Oblivion to do
Wits
it,
and
right?
Oblivion.
Bum, bum, bum. 4 successes.
He is very much distracted trying to get Rhea's blood off of his face. That you are able to get the pool of shadows nearby to slither up. Where are you grabbing him at?
Yeah, so I want to, well, I should say, assuming I can see that she has spit her blood on him, which I think would have been, I'd be trying to stop his arm, the grabbing him by. Okay, it would probably be the arm that he was using to fire his gun, but I don't. He's obviously not doing that now. I'm not sure what arm that would have been.
So you've noticed that when he did shoot on you, he is left-handed. So he's got the gun in his left hand. He's wiping with his right. He's pulled his arm inside his sleeve to wipe it off. So the shadow is able to coil around his arm to like restrain it. And you do hear like he knows what you're doing, even though he can't see it because he can feel it. And his accent, it's a bit hard to understand him, but he is very angrily muttering under his breath, while Kieran is trying to shake Tech off. But with the combination of the kiss, it does make it very difficult for him to try and resist to pull him off. Azra is jogging up behind Alice and going, he does know that you can't. He better not be trying to drain him because, you know, that falls under my purview and Tech's an asshole, but I don't really want to like kill him in an alleyway.
Tell Tech what to do. I didn't stop him if I tried. That's not on me.
Okay. And Max, as you are coming into view on this entire chaotic scene that is happening behind this building, you know, if one mortal sees this, it is going to be an entire Masquerade breach.
There aren't any around, are there?
There aren't.
Okay, well, we're gonna do this as quickly as we can then.
Parked her van. It's kind of catty corner, so it's hard to get around it. And with the lights and the sirens, like it looks like there's also a police car that's kind of blocked. Came up behind after she had gone down there to like block the alleyway.
I'm gonna surge strength again, and I do get hungrier, so I'm back up to hunger 3.
Okay.
Has Alice cleared back to where she was before yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You do see Rhea is near Rory. Rory has a tendril of shadow keeping his gun arm down while he is frantically wiping his face in an utter panic. And Tech has Serpentine slithered in a way that you're like, did he pop some stuff out of socket to do this? Is this a Nosferatu thing? Like, this is weird. And Rich is standing behind Kieran, who is like half-heartedly trying to get Tech off, with Maximus walking up behind.
No, Maximus is sprinting, like full on running as fast as he can, and is going to try to impale both of them on his sword.
Okay.
And as he does so, it's just like it just matter of factly is like, my apologies, Tech. I got 4 successes on my strength and melee roll.
You were able to do so because, again, Kieran is preoccupied. He has a combination of the kiss and like dealing with Tech. He has not noticed that you are there, and you do hear, as you know, it enters him and slides through Tech's body. 4 successes.
Yeah, and then whatever the margin is going to be, add 4 to the damage from the sword and my prowess.
Okay. You do hear Kieran make a noise, and Rory has like put his hand down just enough because he's wiped most of it off of his face, sees you stab Kieran, and lets out what you can only describe as a howl of anger as he tries to pull up the gun to fire on you again. But again, he can't do it.
I would also absolutely use Kieran and Tech's bodies as cover if he were to do that.
You see, it looks like he's trying to resist to pull his arm out, but can't.
Can I kick the gun out of his hand?
Yep, you can.
No more gun. I'm actually gonna pick it up. I know.
Does Tech take any of that damage from the sword, by the way?
Yes, Tech will take some damage from that sword. Kieran got the brunt of it because you were through him, but Tech will take 3 points of superficial damage from it because, again, Kieran took the brunt.
Sorry,
of
not
it.
sorry.
All good in the hood.
You do
You
have
diablerizing Kieran is just as much of against the traditions as him breaking the masquerade. So,
as you are trying to drain him, and you do get the thick blood of a Losombra that's old. His hand is still on your arm, and it's still just withering the hell out of that skin. You feel a hand come up under your jaw, like trying to pull it off, and you do hear Azra's voice of no, not in this, not here. She's very much like telling you, look, I don't want to have to, I really don't want to have to kill you, because again, you are doing a big no, and you know, I will have to carry out my duty if you do not get off him. I do not need a Nosferatu with Oblivion anywhere in this city.
Give me 1 second. Okay. So I believe Tech's reaction will be to I'll have to see if he can pull it off, but he's going to go ahead and pull his fangs out of the shoulder and then immediately attempt to bite and grab Kieran by the jaw, essentially. So let his fangs rip through his cheeks and down into the inside of his mouth and continue attempting to drain him.
Okay, go ahead and roll it. And because you have broken that contact, he is going to attempt to throw you off.
Five successes.
You go to bite, and again, Azra, you can feel Azra's hand like slide from around your chin as she like loses her grip on you, because again, you are hard to actually get her hands on you. But Kieran has his hand on your arm, and the instant you removed your fangs from his shoulder, you see he like moves enough to bonk you in the face, and he does pull you off and throws you across the alley.
All right.
Enough that you do pull off the sword, but again, he's still pinned with the sword. And Maximus, you do know he's not going anywhere, because again, he's going to have to pull himself off that big sword, but he did get tech off. And he looks back at you and goes, seriously, you can't like fight. What is with you all in like fighting and stabbing me? Can I not get dinner like first before you try to like impale me? Did Eloise tell you to do this, or are you just doing this on your own card?
So, to be clear, this is not me saying it so loud. Sorry, this is out of character. I'm gonna make a quick. You tell me what I need to roll.
Okay.
Would Maximus have Rite of Destruction here, or no?
You know that the Rite of Destruction would come from the prince, because Eloise is technically in control right now, because again, he did say the prince is not in town. It would put it in Eloise's domain to give you that privilege, but he hasn't told you to do it.
Right.
You know that the best option would be to torpor him and wait for either Eloise to give you the official permission, or the prince to get back in town to give you official permission.
Okay.
And again, he is looking pretty bad, because you missed his heart, but you did like, because Kieran's fairly tall, you did get him enough that he is impaled. He can't slither off your sword without making a check to try and do so.
Okay.
And Alice, you are able to take the gun from him, and Rhea, you do see he is on the ground, arm not moving, and Tex kind of landed against the wall.
I would like to put my hand in my purse, pull out a stake.
Okay.
And knowing what I know about human or person anatomy, stake him.
Go ahead and roll it. You need, I believe it is 5 successes to successfully stake a kindred.
Strength and melee.
Yep, strength and melee.
3.
And Rory does, because he has pulled his arm down, so he can't see you coming, so he is going to try and stop you.
Yeah, I only got 3 successes.
He catches your arm and just pushes it down as hard as he can into the ground.
Oh, cool. When he pushes his arm down and exposes that side of his body, I'll go for his neck again.
Okay. Maximus, you do see her going for his neck, and you do know that Eloise told you to bring him over alive.
I've got enough time to react. I'm going to activate
Yeah.
Touch of Oblivion and not get hungrier, thankfully.
Excellent, excellent.
Do you want me to roll Strength and Brawl?
Sure.
Just to make sure that I land the hit on him.
You're attacking Kieran?
Yep. It's the power roll.
He is going to because he knows you're behind him. He just doesn't know where. He is going to half-hearted attempt to backhand catch
And
you.
I'm so again, Oblivion envelops Maximus's hand coming out from the ring on his middle finger, and I'm going just gonna try to do a strangle on the back of his neck. I'm not gonna try to spin around.
Nope.
3 successes.
3 successes. You feel him reach back, and as the same time he reaches back, you see that his hand is also coated in black. So you both had the exact same idea. Your hand does grab the back of his neck right as he hits you in the side, and you do feel the skin on your side start to wither. You will take a point of aggravated damage because he's also going to take aggravated damage because you guys rolled the same amount.
He takes 2.
He takes 2. Excellent.
Is he sufficiently distracted?
Kieran? Yes.
Yes.
He's got a broadsword sticking out of him, and a La Sombra who is got his hand on the back of his neck. He's bleeding from where his shoulder is. There is a slight cut across his cheek where Tech tried to get in another bite, and he's trying to look over behind him, but again, he does start to feel, you do see the blackness and the withering start to crawl across his neck. And Rhea, as you go to bite Rory again, he does let go of your hand and he pulls his cardigan up enough so that you can't get to his neck.
Does that leave his arm exposed?
Yep, his arm is exposed.
Then we're gonna go for any vein I can find in that arm.
Sure. And you do see he is actively trying to get away from you, but he's the shadow still has his arm, so while he can pull away from you, he can't get away from that tendril of shadow. So it's kind of like Rich has him attached to a shadow on the the opposite side of the alley, so it's kind of he's got a tether, but he can't get away from that tether.
2 tens.
2 tens. So that's 4 successes. You do manage to sink your fangs into his arm.
I take what I can.
What?
I try and hold on with both hands. I actually, you know what I'll do? I'll grab his arm and turn my body into his body so that his arm is across and in front of my face.
Okay.
And I'll hold on as long as I can.
He is very hard trying to get you off, but again, he is when you bite into his arm, the cardigan is up enough that again you see he's very thin. It's mostly bone that you're getting, because again he is just a very thin man, but he is not able to knock you off. And you do hear Kieran make a noise as he feels it, and Azra goes, okay guys, let's not do this in an alleyway.
Alice is gonna just ignore the words, stand far enough away from Kieran to not get hit, if he reaches or anything, but just start to get his snap at him in a really annoying way so that he looks at me.
He does look at you, and he's like, seriously, why are you all so worried about defending him?
I'm just gonna mesmerize, or attempt at least.
Right, go ahead.
And I'm gonna use Submerge Directive, which is stop moving until I tell you to.
Okay, what are the resist rolls for both of those?
Intelligence and Resolve.
Oh, excellent.
I believe it is the same resist roll, so
yeah,
it succeeds. It succeeds.
Submerge Directive just lets you give them an if-then situation.
4.
4. He rolled 1. So he is not able to resist you. You do see he stops moving. And
Got it.
just looks at you.
Out loud, like Alice will out loud. Just got one. Axe, could you please unkebab Tech?
Oh, he pushed Tech off.
Yeah,
Kieran
like Kieran
has
shoved
thrown
Tech off of him.
Tech smacked into the nearby wall. Into the back of the
I
building.
was still picturing a vampire kebab. It was the only thing on my mind.
Who is up?
Tech.
Let's see.
What do you
Tech
wanna
is
do?
going to try to resist a Fury Frenzy.
Okay.
Yep, that makes sense.
Rich, what are you doing? You've got Rhea biting into Rory's hand. Maximus has skewered Kieran.
I find
Tech-
this is. I've been rolling really well on all of the anything I've had to do with rouse chat, so I'm still at like no hunger, and it's just funny to me because I imagine all these people are slowly going crazy, and I'm just like, what? Why is everyone biting each other all of a sudden?
Yep.
Oh, this is that vampire stuff you guys always talk about, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
If I remember correctly, the difficulty for physical provocation is 2.
I think so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tech is frenzying,
Oh no.
because I sadly can't spend willpower to try to re-roll any of that, so he only got 1 success.
What are you doing in your Fury Frenzy? Who are you going after?
My guess is it would be Kieran. It's technically up to you, because he's not riding the wave, so he's not in control right now.
Kieran is the one who threw you into a wall.
So Kieran it is. I assume at this point Tech is behind him.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he's soaring, leaping onto his back.
So Maximus is still behind him because he's got his hand on his back and the sword still through him.
Yeah.
So you would be jumping onto Maximus to get to Kieran.
Yeah, that sounds about right in a Fury Frenzy.
Okay.
Maximus is just in the way right now, which means from the Frenzy perspective, he has to die so that I can get to Kieran, so.
Maximus, roll me a wits and awareness, and Tech, go ahead and roll me a your soaring leap roll. Let's see if Maximus can sense if Tech is about to jump.
So out of morbid curiosity, because the book doesn't really say, do hunger dice even really matter when you're in a frenzy? Because it's not like you're already breaching Masquerade and doing everything that those things would potentially cause you to do anyway.
Mechanically, you cannot. You don't
well,
have the
you
chance
can't
for
re-roll them. Yeah, that's
yeah. Well, so for when you're in a frenzy, you do not have provocation for another frenzy, and you cannot gain compulsions.
Yeah. But I still wouldn't be able to re-roll those dice. So.
Correct.
All right.
4 successes.
Successes.
Meanwhile, Alice is incredibly confused.
Also 4 successes.
Successes.
Tie
I
goes
do
to the
believe
active
Ty goes
kindred.
to the active kindred. Alice, you have got Kieran looking at you, and you do see Maximus is still got him skewered, hand on the back of his neck. And you see Maximus's head start to turn right as you see Tech bunny leap onto Maximus. Can you roll me a Dex and Athletics to get out of the way, because the combined weight is going to be pushing Kieran down, with Maximus on top of him and Tech trying to furiously scramble over Maximus.
That checks out.
Who's making the roll? I didn't catch.
You.
Is it me? I thought so.
You're trying to dodge out of the way to
Yeah.
not get dogpiled.
Yep.
There's no way I can make this any better. It's 1. I have 2 dice. Stop making me roll this.
Alice, as you think, oh shoot, and you're trying to get out of the way, that's when Kieran's full body weight into you. You find yourself going down with all the weight of the others going on top of you. Rhea, you are biting into Rory's arm. You are able to slake one of your hunger. And as Tech is scrambling to try and eat Kieran, you all hear a voice boom through the alleyway. That's enough. Maximus, you know that this is the voice of the Prince of Dallas.
Nice. Do I need to roll or anything?
Dex and athletics to try and wiggle your way out. Dex and strength and brawl if you're being a little bit more vicious about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the sword because I'm not like that would be way too much effort to try to get out right now. But yeah, I will definitely try to like. I have a specialty in grappling, so whatever Tech's doing is going to be an opposed roll to Maximus to try to like reverse grapple
Tech
him.
is actually spending a superficial willpower point to gain temporary control and not waiting to find out what the prince has to say. He's trying to get out of here before he loses control again. So he is just going to soaring leap away.
Seeing Tech soaring leap away and Maximus back down, I will disengage from Rory, but before I let go, I'm going to pull his arm, like try and dislocate his shoulder for good measure before I let go. Just a good crack.
Strength and brawl to try and pull his arm. He is going to try and pull his own arm out. Again, this is not a lot of dice for him.
I would also, if Tech does like jump off of me, I would not back down. In fact, I would do the opposite, and I would see Alice underneath in the dog pile, and I would just like straight face, sorry, and try to like hold Kieran down and like pin him to Alice on the ground.
Who is yelling, he can't move, this is stupid.
Rhea's not a fighter, but I got 2 10s and a 9.
3 successes. You do feel him try to pull his arm away from you, but again, tie goes to the attacker. You are able to pull his arm enough that you do hear him scream out in pain. Tech, as you are trying to soaring leap away, you feel, and again, you can see the prince is standing just behind Rich. He is a tall man dressed in a very nice suit, kind of curly, dark brown, dark black hair, dark colored skin, and he looks at you and activates majesty.
And got 2 successes, by the way.
2 successes. You are able to pin him down. Again, he is squished. He can't really move. And Alice, you do hear a, I'm sorry, honey. I don't mean to do this. This is disrespectful to you. I am sorry. Like he's muttering a bit to you, but you do get the sense that he feels bad that he's got you pinned.
Alice is still yelling to Max. He literally can't move until I tell him, what are you doing?
Remember the roll for majesty.
Charisma plus presence, I think. Let me double check.
You can grab me the resistance while you're at it. That would be good.
Composure and resolve. Yeah, so it's charisma plus presence, Ari.
Okay.
And, you know, however many extra dice he gets for his blood potency.
You all have to beat an 8 crit.
Well, that's going to suck for the prince because I don't have enough willpower to keep this frenzy in check beyond a single scene, and now my attention is solely on the prince. So I imagine Tech is probably lunging for the prince now because I'm pretty much out of willpower, so I can't really stop the frenzy any further. And the prince won't let me leave.
As you lunge for him, you do see he looks up at you, looks a bit annoyed, and steps enough that you run straight into Ash, who looks beaten and bloody. She's got blood all over her, into her hair, and she just kind of pushes you away and just points to where the sewer tunnel, it looks like the sewer tunnel's popped up, and you can see Rose's big eyes just looking at you, and she goes, go. She's trying to shove you towards the thing
Maximus
as viciously as she can.
Maximus absolutely failed that roll for the Majesty, and like turns his head down, still like knee is digging into Kieran's back, hand still in the back of his neck, but like turn his face down, not looking.
The prince looks at all of you and goes, the parking garage so we can resolve this. Tech, go. You do get the sense that as his majesty changes to just being like, you don't want to be around him. He's just like, and Ash is pushing you, like trying to like get you out of here and into the drain.
Tech's probably lashing out at Ash in the Fury Frenzy because I'm completely out of willpower, so he has no ability to resist this anymore. So it's him being staked, dying, or somebody that he views as a threat dying. So.
Yep. Ash, with her, you can make a strength and
I don't wanna, but yeah.
I know you don't want.
I'm totally out of willpower.
Don't forget that means you also have a -2 to any social pool, social and mental pools.
I'd help, but I'm squished.
Which actually doesn't apply while you're in Frenzy, because Frenzy negates all of that. It actually gives me a bonus to resist
that's right.
Stuff.
Yep. Does my unswayable mind count with this present? Okay.
Yes.
You would get the extra dice
if we're
equal to
counting
your
that,
fortitude.
If we're counting that, then I got 5 successes. But I'm still going to follow Maximus's lead. Whatever he does, I'll do.
I got 2, and I'm just sort of like trying, not fighting it, because I know if I tell him to get up, it will let him move.
Yeah.
But just sort of mad, just like flailing.
I'm banking on Ash being a better fighter than Tech. I got 3 successes to try to attack Ash.
She punches you in the face and pushes you into the drain.
Where Tech is going to savagely spaz out.
You do see that, like, as you're going down, you barely miss Rose, who scoots up, slams the drain down, and sits on it. And she's clevered, like, she obfuscates herself so that nobody can see her unless they're using Auspex, and she's just sitting on it so you can't get back out.
I imagine his frenzy will eventually direct him off into the sewers where he kills a bunch of rats.
Yeah, you do see out of like her vest briefly as you were going down. You did see Toast with just like the widest of eyes because she still has Toast. It's just the prince looks at all of you and goes, "All right, okay," and he drops the Majesty and goes, so what's going on?" And you can see towards where the edge of the parking deck is, you can see Aloise's silhouette kind of just like looking like down a little bit. And you can see there's two figures by him. One is a tall blonde man who, for those of you who've been at court a while, know is Theo. You haven't seen him in over a year, but that's Theo. And a very pretty, tall brunette woman with her hair up in a bun. That's Tati, the other herald. They look like they've kind of are taking care of him a bit. But he looks like he's been chastised. Like he's not even hiding it. He looks like he's been chastised. All right. From what I understand, someone's been causing a problem. And he looks at Maximus for a second and looks down at Kieran and goes, Dr. Smith, do you need assistance?
That would be great, because if I tell him to move, he will. So I can't tell him to get off.
Maximus is going to. So you tell me if I can pull this off, storyteller. Because of the Oblivion's touch and the other amount of damage that he's taken, Maximus is going to try to break Kieran's neck. He knows it won't kill him, and he's not trying to behead him. But like, yeah, it's with the I figure with the weakened state of his neck, it should be easier.
It is. He is very beaten and broken. You do know that if when you break his neck, it will probably send him into torpor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm just gonna like, I'm already got him like pinned, and I'm just gonna take his head and just twist it with a jerking motion.
Alice, you do feel again the torpor and Kieran's age. He gets a little lighter because the skin starts to contract around his skin. And the prince does go over, and you do. He's a very, very good looking Ventru. Reaches his hand down enough to help pull you out. You know, get you up enough, like gently dusts your shoulders off, and goes, right, that one's still the issue. I hate to do this in public. Your van, is that your van?
Oh, me?
Yes, you, ma'am.
Is it the prince that's
yes.
talking to me? Your
apologies.
The
my
prince.
Yes, I am Vicente Reyes, the prince of this city. You are, I don't think we've been acquainted.
My name is Ria. I'm sorry to meet you under these circumstances.
Is that your van?
It is my van.
Yeah. Maximus, get that one, and he points to Kieran into the van. And you just see Rory's kind of like stopped struggling even against the Oblivion. And he looks back at Rich and goes, "You, Rich, right? You're."
That's me.
Right. Get that one into the van. We're gonna have a little conversation in the parking garage so that this is not in. And he does look up, and he like pulls out his phone and like starts firing off a text because you can hear the sound of helicopters. He's like, I don't want this to end up on the nightly news. Let's go, people. Let's go.
I get in the driver's seat. I open the door for the prince.
Just hefting Kieran's body. Oh, I think Kieran is actually a little bit bigger than Maximus, which is
Kieran's 6'3".
Yeah, but I'm sure Kieran has a higher strength and stamina than Maximus does. So he's chunky man.
He dead weight. You're able to like ankle drag him.
Yeah, I mean, I still got prowess active, so like I'm just fucking hefting him over my shoulder, and then when we get to the van, just disrespectfully as I possibly can, throwing him into the van.
He does slide in the van and is just pointing over to where the thing is, and there is a turn-in point. Rich, you're able to get Rory. Rory doesn't resist you. He looks like he's been stunned into absolute silence. And in the parking garage, the prince looks everyone over. Alois looks like he's healed himself a little bit. Theo is like, he's sitting on the hood of what looks to be an exceedingly nice sports car with Theo by his side, just kind of like arm around him, just kind of like looking at everybody, just like, what's going on? And the prince looks at Kieran, looks at Alois, and Alois does look away. All right. Okay, so all the Second Inquisition's been taken care of. He does look towards the van or the SUV. Sounds, and then looks at Ash, and Ash goes, I took out one. As you can see, it didn't. Well, it went in my favor, but it didn't. It was a bit gross. All right, cool. And he looks at Rory, who's just like sitting in the van, like hands together.
Maximus's left hand is on Rory's shoulder. No powers or anything activated, but the threat is there.
Elvis is also staring at him.
Unfortunately, given that Kieran has caused us some problems and that he's not going to put up a fight, Maximus, I give you permission to take care of Kieran Bishop.
Of course, Your Majesty.
He goes, Rory, however, and he looks at Alois, is under his sire's control. I assume that since we've discussed this, Alois, you will handle it. Of course, my prince. And Rich, as you're sitting outside, you see a very tall man who's leaning on what looks to be a very expensive, like, limo, smoking a cigarette, looks at Rich and goes, wait, when did you leave New Orleans?
So do I recognize?
You do recognize this man as being one of your sire's coterie members.
Oh, okay. Did I have much interaction beyond Kenny?
Briefly, you were introduced to him.
Mm-hmm.
He gave you an up and down look, scoffed, and walked away. You do know that this is Elijah, your coterie mate, your sire's coterie mate.
I give a lot. I was considering asking Elijah for a cigarette, but instead now I'm gonna give him a one up and down look and walk away.
You just hear yeah, Kenny did a good job with this one. You get the sense that was like in a sense of admirement that he was actually enjoying the fact that you walked away. Your sense of dickishness clashed with his sense of dickishness, and he recognized a kindred spirit and was like, no, this is awesome.
Real recognizes real.
Yeah, Maximus, you were given the permission for final death.
Before I do any of that, so Maximus will step out of the van completely, like guiding Rory by the shoulder, and just leans in and whispers to him, be happy that you're the Seneschal's child. Otherwise, you'd be leaving here without a head and in a box, and like shoves him towards Alois.
He looks at Alois, and Alois has got, again, he's starting to heal, so like his skin started to repair. He still looks damaged as hell. Just one gray-blue eye on Rory, and Rory goes, trust me, I wish I was in the box.
You get what you fucking deserve.
And do you go take care of Kieran?
Actually, I will go in front of the prince and kneel in front of him with sword like out and kind of, like a knight would kneel in front of the king, right? And I would say, if I may, Your Majesty, would it not serve the court better for Kieran's execution to be public? I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at his feet.
Given that the Primogen court, and he does he's looking down at his phone, and you can see the screen just keeps lighting up. I have already ran it past them. They are well aware.
Should
of
we not
what's-
make an example of him, though? I understand the thin line that my clan walks upon within the tower. And I
Given
want,
that if I make an example out of him and he has close ties to the anarchs or that are around us, I fear that might make a diplomatic. And he pauses for a second, looks at Alois, who is just kind of like staring at Rory, and goes, might make a diplomatic crisis. If it's handled quieter, I can more easily. Unfortunately, not make nearly as much of a scene. As much as I would love for the entire court to watch his head come flying off of his body, we are in a precarious situation with the baronies that are around us. If we make an example of one of their own, I really don't want a bunch of angry barons on my front door.
of course, my prince. Yeah, and I'm gonna go. I drag him out of the van, and I ask Rhea to actually. Rich, did you leave?
I doubt I went that far. I imagine I went into the other side of the car.
I would call Rich
Out of sight, out of
over.
mind.
I would be like, Rich, please assist me.
I would do so.
And I
That means
instruct
going
him.
back in the vein or
No,
van?
I've pulled I've pulled Kieran out of the van,
Oh, okay.
and he's in torpor, so like he can see he can still know everything that's going on, but I would instruct Rich to like prop him up and hold him by the shoulders, and then just I would actually say the Lord's Prayer, and then just two-handed off with his head.
And Rich, as you're holding him up, the instant the sword swipes through, takes his head complete off his body, you do feel the leather jacket just go limp in your hands as he just disintegrates into ash.
Okay. That must have been disconcerting. That must have been strange as all
You
get
would
out.
also hear Maximus very much under his breath, so nobody else could hear him but you.
Yeah.
Say, what a waste of old blood.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we will end this episode. Thank you for joining us for the mini-series Undead in Dallas for our finale. We hope to see you guys another time over here on the Bear Pen. Have a good night, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Mm-hmm.